Today is Indigenous Peoples Day. Courtney is with an expert learning more about the holiday and the outreach from the State Indian Museum.
Yeah, let's check in with Michael Ramirez. He is in charge of outreach at the State Indian Museum in downtown Sacramento, which is a beautiful location. First of all, good morning to you, Michael.
Good morning, Courtney. It's a pleasure to be here.
Okay.
And I need to correct you. I'm not the director of outreach. I'm just a park aide here.
Oh, okay.
Doing outreach.
Doing outreach. All right. Wonderful to know that. Now, I want to talk to you, first of all, about your name, because we are in Hispanic Heritage Month, but you are not Hispanic, and there's a lot to do with names in the Native American culture.
Yes. So my name is Michael Ramirez, and as I've been told, the Ramirez name comes from the Ramirez Ranch of Marysville, where the rancher purchased one of my ancestors and gave him the last name Ramirez as to claim him as property.
Okay, and that's how some of the naming has occurred, especially in the state of California. I wanted to talk to you about what you guys are doing today, as it is Indigenous Peoples Day. I love that you've got the resolution there, right there in your hand.
Yes, I was honored to be there when this was bestowed upon us, and to continue the fight that many of my relatives started before me, and it was a pleasure to see it come to fruition.
Absolutely.
Today in the city of Sacramento is Indigenous Peoples Day, in lieu of the previous misnomer that was propagated here. And so definitely recommend anybody come on down today, if not today, tomorrow, and we're open every day to come find out about the history of this state that we're in and the indigenous people who have been here for thousands of years.
Yeah. And I want to ask you about that, too, because we've got about 56 or so tribes in the state of California. Obviously, that's down from a number several years ago. But, Michael, your experience is that you've had people come to the State Indian Museum and actually think that the Native American people are extinct, which is not the case.
Yes, unfortunately, that's a common occurrence, whether it be from lack of representation or just educational processes and dichotomies that explain the evolution of native colonial contact, and then just a dramatic stop or drop off and lack of representation, say after 1900.
Well, and I also want to ask you about the way that history has happened. For example, in the state of California, the way that Native American people have been represented kind of happened over about a 15-year span, whereas it took like 300 years for the same type of thing to happen back east. So there's a lot of differences between Native American people on the East Coast than on the West Coast.
Oh, most definitely. If not just in our ceremonies, in our regalia, in our food sources, but phenotypically. And especially on today, it's important to acknowledge that, these borders didn't show up until about 200 years ago. So the neighbors to the north and the neighbors to the south are our relatives.
Wow.
It's just an artificial border that showed up to acknowledge a difference, and then a colonial language that was implemented to separate us.
So much history to learn. Incidentally, there is a holiday in the state of California called the Bertha Nye Norton Day. It's in August, and it's named after a local Native American woman from our area. So you can learn about all of that, as well as so much more about the indigenous peoples. And real quick, Michael, is it proper to say Native American or Indian?
Well, Indian is a legal term that was bestowed upon us through the Constitution, but it's kinder to use, I would say, indigenous or native. As I like to point out to young children, I'm older than America.
Yeah, I love that. Michael, thank you so much for your time this morning. Thank you so much for the education as well. Again, it is National Indigenous Peoples Day today, so this is a great place for you to go. Take the family, get some more information, of course, a lot of information online as well. We'll link everything to our website, gooddaysacramento.com, under show info and today's date. Thanks, Michael.
Thank you.
All right. Cody, back over to you.
Appreciate that.